Onslaught.
Look at that mamma jamma.
G10 handle.
Dude.
154 cm blade steel. Most importantly, this is a Bob Lum design. First time we've ever done a Bob Lum design with the axis lock in it.
First time. Dude, I am a fan already.
Great action on it.
Look at that.
For a big folder, it's incredibly smooth. We call it silky smooth.
Wow, got the clip positioned at the correct end. Thank you very much. Dude, look at the belly on that blade. The weight on that, do you know?
I do not know. Let's find out.
I think it's going to be around 6-ish. Let me see, I'm just guessing. But man, what a cool blade that is. It's not a super lightweight knife.
The weight is 3.8 ounces.
No way. You looking at the right knife, dude?
What?
Really?
You should reweigh it.
I'm serious. Skeletonized liners in the 741 Onslaught. I don't know if you can see it because these liners are blackened, which I think adds some class to it as well. Dude, awesome knife.
Well, that's the, it honors the legacy of Bob Lum, one of the great designers. He was known for doing elegant tactical knives. I think this fits the bill for sure.
Big hit with that.
Okay, dudes, I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it, and I promised a review. Here it is. Benchmade 741 Onslaught. What a wicked blade this is. Love at first sight. Yep, you bet. You saw it happen on camera as I did my 2010 SHOT Show booth review with the good folks of Benchmade. They rolled out this Onslaught and I was like, oh dude, I love that knife. It was an instant emotional connection. Blade guys, TMPers, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Might be a knife, might be a gun, might be a flashlight. But immediately when you inspect the item, you'll go, man, that just, I don't know. There's something there. There's something that connects with you. We're talking second type of cool. In my talking points in this Nutnfancy blade review, I'm going to talk about first type of cool. Practicality, usefulness in roll. How all those things stack up with the 741. I'll tell you right now, it's all good. It's an easy review for me to do because I'm stoked about it. Love at first sight, and nothing that I have found out in carrying and using the blade has changed my opinion on it. It's excellent. Only downside will be cost. We'll get to that in value. Sometimes admission fee to these high quality Benchmade offerings. Pricey. Just the way it is, dudes. POU. This is a large tactical folding knife. That's my primary POU I put it in. And guys sometimes roll their eyes and go, oh gosh, here we go again with tactical. It is. It's a viable defensive tool. You know, there may be areas where you can't carry a gun, but blades are completely legal. It's a close quarter weapon, no doubt. Do I ever want to do that? Heck no. Heck no. The alternatives are worse though, aren't they? Go on, but it'll just add video length. Suffice it to say, this would be an excellent defensive knife. Maybe offensive knife if you're a soldier or something like that. Secondarily, maybe a skinning blade. You know, I think with the belly, the sweep that it possesses, could function very well in that role. Too big for EDC, at least for me. This is a big knife, dudes. Big knife. 4.3 inches of blade is what it gives you. And that gets to the weight. It's not lightweight. You guys know that I'm big on weight. Nothing fancy with the weight issue. I've been beating the drum on the weight issue forever. I feel like I'm making headway in a lot of ways. I mean, I see manufacturers coming out with lighter and lighter stuff, including knives. Milled outliners and stuff that just makes it no less strong, but just so much more carryable. 6.8 ounces for this knife. That's substantial. Generally, I like a 4 or so ounce tactical blade. Let's bring in another Bob Lum design by way of reference. Benchmade Deja Vu, previously reviewed in the Nutnfancy project. Great tactical / EDC blade, depending on how you want to put it. 4.2 ounces though, and look at the size difference. The 741's bigger still than the full size. This is not a mini Deja Vu, it's a full size. And you can see the differences right there. Substantial, don't you think? Yeah! But you know what? Part of the charm of the 741 is its large blade. Don't you think? And I'm going to jump down right here to blade shape. Look at that blade shape. I love it. I'm a big fan of all, not all, but most of Bob Lum's designs. I like the leaf shapes, the modified draw points. There's always some belly in there. And the 741 has that too. These are different blade shapes, no doubt. But in a way, I kind of can see a family resemblance to me. The Bob Lum design, you know, our Bob Lum heritage, if you will. Rest in peace, Bob. Dude, you left us with some great blades. Benchmade's carrying on the heritage with the 741. So, for that 6.8 ounce carry weight, this is the blade you're getting. It's the main reason it weighs what it does. Very capable blade. If you're talking about the POU of tactical blade, great belly here, great slashing performance. Very sharp tip, great penetration capability, albeit it's a little bit thinned out. Check that. Might be a little bit delicate if you miss your target and happen to go into like a concrete wall or something like that. Be careful. Always be careful. Blade shape is a big plus with me. Flat ground from the upper swedge portion on down. Made out of 154 cm steel. I love how they stamp it. I like that. So many blades, it's easy to forget what's it made out of. Bob Lum tang stamp there as well. Awesome. There's that standard Scotch-Brite finish on the blade. Just a home run. The whole steel is. I mean, you could go with S30V. The knife would be more expensive still, though. You know. But 6.8 ounces, not a lightweight blade. Do I care? Yeah, I care. This probably wouldn't be my first choice for a tactical loadout. You know, if I'm going full bore, maybe a level 3, level 4 tactical loadout, I ain't taking this blade. It's just too heavy. If I'm in my civilian life, just everyday carry, like I'm just carrying my rule of law system, which I've talked about lots, great option, as long as I don't have a lot of other stuff to carry. Speed, talking points. This is another huge attraction to me for a lot of Benchmade designs, not just the 741. And I demoed it as it came on camera for the first time. The Onslaught is just wicked fast. Comes out just like in a blaze of speed. Doesn't take a lot of technique to get good at it either. Okay, and for a 4.3 inch blade, that is an achievement. What they're doing then is they've worked on the balance a lot. Phosphor bronze bushings, as we always see in the Benchmade designs. Perfect balance, perfect lockup with that wonderful axis lock on the 741. Okay, and this is what I would expect from a Benchmade, and you find it in spades in the 741. Just wicked fast. You don't need an auto, not when you have something that deploys as readily as that. Doesn't mean I hate autos. I still like certain ones, but the Onslaught just comes out as fast as any other large blade I've seen. And I have to compare it against some other offerings by way of reference. Let me bring in, previously reviewed in the Nutnfancy project, Cold Steel Black Rhino. Oh, see that? Didn't come out quite as quick. Slipped on that thumb stud a little bit. I still love the Black Rhino. I think it's an excellent blade. The reason I'm bringing it in is because I want to offer alternatives and show you the differences. And some guys will say, well, you know, maybe they're different categories. No, they're not. They're pretty much the same knife. Little bit different weights. This is actually heavier, 7.2 ounces. This is lighter. Okay, and that's because, as we can see, they've milled out the liners. Thank you very much on the 741. Black Rhino, though, does it come out as fast? We're talking about speed here. Not quite. Not quite as fast. Pretty darn close, though. I'm still a big fan of the Black Rhino. It's a lot of knife for the money. But I will say the 741 is faster still. And the lockup, which do I prefer? I will say hands down the axis lock on this Benchmade. I critiqued and criticized the Black Rhino for having kind of a weak back, and I don't want to make this a review of the Black Rhino, but this has kind of a weak spring in it. They should strengthen that spring. You're not going to have any issues with that in your Onslaught, dudes. It's just awesome. Lockup, no side to side, no up and down. Perfection in every quadrant. The tip, of course, notwithstanding, be careful of that, but in every other respect, I think the Onslaught is going to be a very strong blade. Handle material, still can't speak. Handle material, G10, Same stuff we saw in the Deja Vu. I think I mentioned that in the shop booth review. And that's gorgeous handle material. It's not super high traction though. Okay, so you're not going to get a lot of grip with it like we see in some other G10, high traction G10 offerings. But it's gorgeous, and this is an elegant tactical blade. Okay, and I think most people who buy this will collect it. I really do. I don't think they're going to put it in hard use. I think they're just going to carry it lightly and take really good care of it. And that's appropriate. It's kind of an expensive blade, and I think knife collecting in and of itself is an awesome hobby. Now, if we're going to say we don't have a lot of traction on the side, is there any other way the handle affords us good ergonomics? You have a finger groove here, milled out in the back, you know, supposedly for a lock-in like that. I don't think they do a lot for traction. I just don't. You know, reverse grip, would it be any better? No, I don't. That would probably be a minor criticism I would have of the handle. But when you're a knife designer, you're kind of making a couple compromises here and there. You know, you can go for absolute utility like we see with some cold steel designs that have that really high traction G10. But it's not, to a lot of knife buyers, the best looking handle material. It's gorgeous. It goes thematically with the blade. It's not horrible. It's just not super high traction. Love that axis lock, by the way. It's not a flow-through design. You have a Zytel. I think that's Zytel. Actually, it might be aluminum. Backspacer on the 741, like that. So it's not a flow-through design. And there's those liners. And do I have my light on me? Oh, dude, I'm busted. I don't have my light. You can see them, though. See how they're milled out in there? Good job, Benchmade. This is what I'm talking about. Manufacturers are starting to pay attention to that stuff. And that makes, I mean, if they didn't mill it out, it'd probably be a 7.9 ounce blade. I'm just guessing, more or less. Great job on the handle. If you need to take it apart, you got the mini Torx screws there. And that takes us to the clip. Blackened nickel clip, and I think it goes perfectly thematically with the Onslaught. The clip is a little bit broad to me. You know, it's kind of flat bladed, but it is a big knife, and they probably don't want the clip bending out on you. And it won't. It's going to carry quite nicely, I think. And since the Onslaught features an axis locking mechanism, dudes, has tip-up orientation. Thank heavens! Good job, Benchmade. You remember in the 2010 SHOT Show booth review I did with them? They're talking about how they work that. If it is a locking liner, kind of like the Deja Vu 740 model, it's going to carry tip down like that. Just what they do as a company for liability reasons, you know. Probably a good thing with the Deja Vu, incidentally, since it's in-handle retention, at least on these earlier ones, pretty much blows. Not great. Pretty much none at all, like I said in my review. But you won't have that problem on the 741. You dudes know that I'm a big fan of deep carriage. For most tactical folders, EDC blades, 740 is a good example. Even though the orientation's jacked up and in-handle retention's jacked up, it has a nice loop clip on it. Carries deep. I still love that. Onslaught has a little bit different approach. You're going to have some protruding from your pocket, but it's unobtrusive, and it definitely is not obnoxious, having carried it for a while now. If you want a lanyard, throw one in there, dudes. It'll be easier to extract that way. Incidentally, look at those Torx screws, 3 of them, that are sunk into those 420 J2 stainless steel liners. And I forgot to mention this. Look at the blade centering. Every 741 that I've personally examined has perfect blade centering on it. Yeah, nice, huh? Decent. And I forgot to mention this. No jimping. There you go. I mentioned it now, and you can see what my mod for that is. Skateboard tape. I do say that if you're going to make your jimping non-functional, don't put it on at all. And so if I had to have the choice of having non-functional jimping on this gorgeous blade of the Onslaught and none at all, I would go with none at all. Especially as a user, because then I have the choice, just like you see here. Then I can say, okay, cool, no jimping, I'll take care of it myself with a little bit of skateboard tape application. Easy to do, easy to do. And it really locks your thumb in there. And it's a great thumb ramp. I mean, you can choke up on the blade for control. Forgot to mention that. Great. And also the thumb hole deployment. Very Spyderco-like. Yep, it is. And it is somewhat occluded by the liners and the G10 handle. You can see that. but you can get enough traction on it because it's big enough. Even with gloves, you can do it. Man, that thing comes out nicely. Nice snap. That Black Rhino by Cold Steel, also the same because of the aluminum frame. Comes out with authority, and they sound differently, but they're both authoritative when they come out. I love that. That gives us a durability, guys, on the 741 Onslaught. I don't foresee any problems whatsoever, as long as you don't abuse the knife. It's a hand-me-down, heirloom quality blade. That's what I would expect from the CNC prowess and possession with all things quality at Benchmade. And they're possessed with quality. They spend a lot of time and effort on their blades. It shows in everything. From, there you go, the blackened pivot point, which by the way is adjustable. Forgot to mention that. You know, the radiused G10 scales, and they are radiused. And you see the spacer back here, also radiused for better ergonomics. The finish of the blade, the edge of the blade, which I forgot to mention, very sharp out of the box. Great job, Benchmade. It all comes together for an ultra quality, collectible, and very usable blade. I think most users are going to collect it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I advocate it. If you do want to put it in a hard use roll, I don't see anything about the Onslaught letting you down. I really don't. In the rolls that I've discussed. How about value? I'm not going to ballpark a figure. You can go to your favorite knife place, check it out. It's going to be an expensive blade. You know, admission fee for this quality level, for this type of large and elegant tactical folder, it's going to be a little bit expensive. Value is always in the eye of the beholders. You know, it really is. And guys in the comments, you know, if you go, well, there's no way I'd ever pay that. I mean, be respectful for guys that do. There's other people that would say, you know, it's worth it to me. And there's some very discriminating knife buyers out there that they wait to pull the trigger on a knife that excites them. And I think for a lot of users, it'll be this knife, the 741 Onslaught. I really do. I've ran into some already. They just emotionally connect, just like I do with the Onslaught, because it has all these things going on. First type of cool, capability and roll, ultra cool factor. That's important. How do you connect with your blade? You know, does it emotionally connect with you? Is it worth the admission cost? Yeah, I really think it is. I think it's going to be a perennial bestseller for Benchmade. This Bob Lum Benchmade collaboration, just a home run. Sharp blade, great sweep, ultra fast, rock solid lockup, no play whatsoever, great pocket clip, handsome blade, and it's intimidating. In the role of tactical use, if someone popped this out, I would probably run away. I would not want to face a determined user, you know, wielding a 741 Onslaught. That's a Nutnfancy review. Great blade, seriously. See ya.